Microsoft buys Activision Blizzard just after acquiring ZeniMax. Will Microsoft make Call of Duty exclusive to Xbox Game Pass? How will Sony respond to these blockbuster deals? And is Microsoft done buying studios? You want the answers to these questions? Well, that's why you're here. So let's talk about it. Welcome back to the channel, everyone, and I want to say thanks for your patience. We have not gotten a video out in quite some time on this channel. That's about to end right now. We are going to be doing weekly videos in addition to the Crossfire podcast. And one of the other things that I want to bring to this channel are some of the videos that we do over on Twitch. And I'm going to be doing a lot more Twitch streaming as the future progresses. We're going to be doing a lot of different games that are coming out in February. Also, in addition, Warzone, one of my favorite games, can't help it. And different new topics that we'll be discussing on Twitch and bringing over to YouTube. So please go over to twitch.tv, the Mooch78, same as it is here on YouTube, and click the follow button over there as well. We're also going to be doing monthly giveaways. It's time for you guys to mooch off of the Mooch. One of our first giveaways is going to be an Xbox Series S, so stay tuned for the details on that. But before we get in this video, take a second real quick and hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the notification bell. It really means a lot to the channel, and I can't thank you guys enough. One of the things I always say is that gamers have short-term memory. So let's take a trip down memory lane. Microsoft bought Bethesda and all of ZeniMax back in September of 2020, and many thought this was just the beginning. Well, it actually was just the beginning, because it seems Microsoft clearly has intentions of owning anything and everything in gaming. This has a lot of positives that are pretty clear to see. For example, helping Game Pass for one, but also putting Microsoft on the map with casual gamers. However, there are some glaring issues with these massive deals that many aren't talking about. First, let's explore the positives. Like we just said, this instantly brings Game Pass to the forefront, something that I personally believe the ZeniMax deal couldn't do alone. Game Pass was in desperate need of having a game that keeps gamers coming back 365 days a year, not once in a blue moon or once in a while to revisit Doom or Fallout when they get the itch to play. Activision brings a plethora of games like Call of Duty, Diablo, and Overwatch, just to name a few. These are the games that keep giving the whole year long. It provides never-ending content, and for the first time in a very long while, gives Microsoft and Xbox a massive chance of putting a crack into the casual gamer's armor, and makes the Xbox platform a must-have for the hardcore and casual markets alike. Let's face it, that's where the money is. Games as a service models with name recognition in the title. Call of Duty does all of that and then some for whoever owns that franchise. No one really talks about this, but Game Pass numbers were climbing at a rate that made console wars interesting, but wasn't making Xbox and Microsoft happy at all. Phil Spencer had to make a case that the only way to drive in numbers for active users was to have a game that active users wanted to play actively day in and day out. And that's what Activision brings to the table with their library of games. Just like anything in life, there is cause and effect. The effect in this case will most certainly bump Game Pass numbers up to where Xbox has wanted them to be for a while now. But you have to wonder what the effect will be on PlayStation. Speculation has already started that Sony will now spend more time realizing that some of their older, beloved multiplayer games may need to be revisited and remade. I've also mentioned a number of times that PlayStation needs to acquire more studios, but not for the reason you guys think. Not because they're in an arms race with Microsoft, but because there's only so much talent out there. Every single time Microsoft acquires a new team like Activision or publishing rights, they are picking up not only beloved IP, but they're also picking up a tremendous amount of developer talent. There's only so much talent out there. And I think that Sony needs to recognize that even though they have an unbelievable library of games, they need to go one step further and lock down the talent that remains out there before somebody like Microsoft or Tencent scoops everybody up. That's what I mean by PlayStation needs to acquire more studios. They don't just need the IPs of those studios, but they need that developer talent to be under their umbrella. Because as we can see, every single day that goes by, Microsoft, Tencent, and other large companies are scooping up IP and talent. And that's just something that Sony cannot afford to wait any longer on. I truly believe that Sony knows this and could possibly make some popular moves like acquiring Square Enix, From Software, or Bandai Namco. None of those alone are on the caliber of what Xbox just accomplished, but provide PlayStation gamers with many more titles and could certainly lock up developer talent for years to come. Not to mention, those companies are a lot cheaper than ZeniMax and Activision. Another idea that is far-fetched, but interesting nonetheless, would be if Sony and Nintendo merge forces. Even if they both combined bank accounts, they wouldn't come close to the capital Microsoft has. but together they have some of the most beloved gaming titles in all of gaming. Or they may allow some games to be played on both platforms. Just imagine a God of War on the Switch, or the next Legend of Zelda on PlayStation. By no means at all am I saying that this is a viable option, or even will happen. But when these two companies see what Microsoft is capable of, they may not see a better way to compete with the software giant. As far as will Call of Duty and other Activision Blizzard games be available on PlayStation moving forward, all we know for now is what Phil Spencer has been quoted as saying, and I quote, "I'll just say to players out there who are playing Activision Blizzard games on Sony's platform, it's not our intent to pull communities away from that platform, and we remain committed to that." So as far as we know, the biggest impact as of today would be the availability and accessibility of Call of Duty and other Activision games on Game Pass day one. That seems to be the play as it stands today. Could things change in the future? Absolutely. Of course they could. Now, the question has emerged on the legality of this deal. It must be reviewed by both the FTC, Federal Trade Commission, and DOJ, Department of Justice. From the article written by GameSpot, as they interviewed legal expert in gaming Richard Hogue, and yes, the link to this article will be in the description, Mr. Hogue is quoted as saying, "I strongly suspect that both Microsoft and Activision know that a deal of this size in an industry that has never experienced one like it before will get a closer look by acquisition regulators, which means it will take more time. It doesn't mean that the deal will get blocked, and indeed, Microsoft likely wouldn't announce it in such a fashion if they anticipated a block, but it also doesn't mean it won't," end quote. So even though many aren't looking into the finite details of this deal, it will take the better part of a year or longer till we know exactly how this acquisition will unfold. So where does this leave us today with what we know? If the deal goes through, and I fully believe it will, this puts Xbox and Game Pass at the prestigious platform they both wanted so badly when the service was announced. This gives Xbox an immense amount of respect in the gaming market. But as we've learned, even with the ZeniMax deal, things are not always as top level as they seem. Sony has known of something cooking between Microsoft and Activision, and more than likely have a plan in place. But the one thing I'd like to see at this point are the games. Let's calm down on the continued talk of Microsoft acquiring publishers and developers and see what these new teams that Microsoft has purchased can create. Not even 24 hours after the announcement of acquiring Activision Blizzard, and we have many gamers and gaming media talking about who Microsoft needs to acquire next. The answer as of today is nobody. They have the teams, they have the IPs. Now go make some games and let's see how this all plays out. Well, that kind of brings us to the end of this video right now because there's just so many questions left to be answered and we don't know all the answers as of yet. But it is interesting as we see things unfold as we move forward. I want to thank everybody again for coming to the channel and being a part of this channel for so long. We are going to make absolute strides to make weekly videos. And like I said, please go over and check out twitch.tv, the Mooch78. We'll be doing weekly content as well over there. So before you leave, please do hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell. Really appreciate everyone stopping by, and we'll see you guys in the next video.